Natalia Matveeva, so great to see you. Welcome to Paper Napkin Wisdom. I'm excited that you're with me.
Thank you so much for inviting me. It's really a pleasure. I have been listening to your podcast for some time, and I really love the work you do for the people.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. That means a lot to me, actually. Thank you. So you shared a really interesting napkin with me, and I'm going to read it out loud, and I'd love to talk about it. So, true resilience is found in the harmony between our business and our inner selves. Why did you share that with
Because I think that over years of entrepreneurial experience, I realized that the alignment of the business and all the facets of the business, like operations, marketing, and so on, and alignment within the entrepreneur itself, if we align both business and ourselves, we can achieve our true potential. And this is something that I think all entrepreneurs try to do. We want to bring our best self. We want to make sure that our business shines and provides the best value for its clients and makes a change in this world. And alignment, or shall I say misalignment, is something that doesn't allow us to realize our true potential.
Is that something that you struggled with, like when you were starting in your entrepreneurial journey? Did you struggle with a misalignment, or did it come naturally to you?
Great question. When I was 6 years old, I lived in a place called Pripyat, and it was 2 kilometers away from the Chernobyl nuclear power station, which happened to have an accident in 1986, and I was in that city at that time. So after that, I had some health issues, which I had to deal with as a child and then as an adult when I grew up. And I had a limited resources of energy. And I had to manage myself in a way that I still was able to go to school, graduate university. I actually studied at 2 universities at the same time. And thanks to alignment, inner intent, and the vision how to do it, and alignment of all the components of my internal life and my external life, meaning studies and work, I was able to achieve results that other people who have never had any issues with health hadn't been able to.
So the do you think that first of all, I didn't know this about your story, that you were so close to the Chernobyl experience. Sorry that you had to experience that, but it sounds like that health challenge taught you how to bring your work into alignment with your inner needs and your inner self, because of the limitations that you had around energy. You didn't
Mhm.
let that define you. Am I hearing that correctly?
Yes, and it also changed my mindset because the doctors from Japan came over and looked at us, and they said that we have from 5 to 10 years to live. Imagine a child who's 6 years old, turning 7, who hears a story that they have only 10 years to live, maximum.
I can't even imagine.
And then you still want to be a normal child. You still want to go to school. You still want to do all the activities, all the sports, which I was unable to do because of the lack of energy and physical conditions. But then it didn't stop me from envisioning that at some point I can do something that will allow me at least to try and do things that I love. And aligning, I think that the best experience and the best understanding that the Chernobyl experience gave me was that I need to concentrate all my energy on doing what I love.
So this is like the third time in this so far very short conversation that you've talked about vision and alignment, things that you love and alignment. So I think it's really powerful, and it's actually giving me goosebumps when I think about it. As a 6 year old, you learned about having a vision, and your vision very then may have sounded simple, like I want to play, I want to do normal stuff, but that's the formation of a vision, right? And you wanted to make that real. Am I misreading that?
No, actually, it's interesting that you pointed out. I was, as a kid, nobody taught me that this is the vision, this is the mindset, this is how you align it. It happened through the love of doing things and wanting to do them that I found ways that instead of limiting myself, allowed me to expand myself, but only in directions that was true to my authentic self. Because things that we love, truly love, are the things that are truly meant for us. And that is
Wow,
why those three became the mindset, love, and vision became my guiding stars. And it became natural, but just because I had no other choice. When you have limited resources in terms of energy and in terms of time, you only concentrate on what's truly, holistically, authentically important to you.
that's incredible. What a lesson to learn early. You really took that challenge and made it a very positive experience for yourself. So these guiding stars, mindset, love, vision. Can
Mhm.
we dig into those a little bit? What does that mean to you when you talk about those being your guiding stars? How do you apply the guiding star? Because people are out there, they're running their business,
Mhm.
they're running, like, this is a challenging time. This
Mhm.
economy is really challenging. People are struggling. This has been, the world is in pain. um,
Mhm.
so in that time, these guiding stars, how do you apply that in those challenges?
Um, I have to share these practical tools. We are each a unique human being. We were born with certain abilities like gifts, and those are something that we have to give. We, as human beings, we think that gifts are something that is given to us, but actually, those are the things that we need to improve, expand, enhance, and give others. If you have a gift of writing, learn how to write in a best way. Find your tune, find your style, and give it to people. Your writing is gonna be healing instrument in lives of others. Your knowledge will bring decision-making solutions for others. Your intuition might help and bring something within um, the line along the lines that only you can give to people. And when you actually work from your superpower, um, and you find your business superpower, and you look at your industry and you find the superpower of your industry, and you look at those three, and here's what I can give, here's what my business can give. Here is what the industry can give. How I can combine those three in order to create something absolutely unique that no one else can. And if you have that, if you figure out your personal superpower, your business superpower, and your industry superpower, and you combine them in a unique blend that is natural to you and needed on the market, you have a competitive advantage that nobody else has.
And you know, people in investment circles and private equity circles and venture capital circles will talk about this as a sustainable competitive advantage. But there is nothing more sustainably competitive than combining that personal business and industry superpower. You started talking about gifts are things we think. No, you said we think that gifts are things that are given to us, but they're actually things that we need to give to others.
Yep.
That is really powerful. And you talked about a tool as it relates to mindset. So let's dive into that tool. How did you give your gift to others? What tools did you use? What method did you apply to give your gift to others?
My gift is to see the core of things. When I talk to a person, when I talk to an entrepreneur, I can see the core of what this person is all about. I can see the core of what they want to give to the universe. I can see how they can combine it and how they can bring it to other people. So my ability, my core, my superpower is ability to see the core of all the things that I interact with, be it people, businesses, strategies. And I have another gift that allows me to see the cause and effect in situations in business and connect the dots on and how to get from this place A to this place B with the minimum effort and maximum return on investment. And those gifts, I used to apply them only to my business. If you allow me a minute to come back to my heritage, when I started my business, it was the end of the Soviet Union era. I did not have a Stanford degree in business. I did not have like any decent understanding of how business works. None of my parents have been able to become a business person because it was non-existing in the Soviet Union where I was raised as a child. So in order to build my own business, my game development and publishing company, I had to start from nowhere and teach myself. And when I started this business in casual games, the name casual games did not exist at all. Because at that point, if you look more than 20 years back, there were games, only shooters, strategy games for men. It mostly was a male-dominant industry. Games for women and kids were almost non-existent. The first similar type of game was Tetris. Tetris was one of the first, if not the first, Solitaire and Tetris was the first games, casual games, but they weren't called that. And when I started my first business almost 24 years ago, the market did not exist. We were one of the first companies who created the market. And what allowed me to see the potential is that instead of looking of what was there, I was looking what was not there, but the need for what was there. Women and kids wanted to have easy to play games, non-violent, educational, fun games. And I saw the need and I started to create something for that need. And only 10 years later, it became popular. And like now it's all over. Casual game market is one of the biggest market right now out there.
Yeah, in fact, I would say for a time, casual game market took over the industry, and it was like Fortnite's revolution that has sort of brought it back to that first-person shooter game.
Mhm.
But before that happened, it was the casual game market became bigger
Mhm.
than, and now obviously it's different. So your gift of being able to see the core of things in this case being the core need that women and children didn't necessarily relate to the male dominated shooter games, strategy games. Um,
Mhm.
and then the other side of it is this ability to see the cause and effect and connect the dots, right? That there's this need, this problem,
Mhm.
and you could see a solution for it and you could connect the dots to those things efficiently. So you're working with other people to support them on that now, but this gift, this gift to see the core of things for other entrepreneurs, leaders, and difference makers, you applied that to your team and a problem first, right? You did that for your team, for your company. You applied it to the people around you before, and then you've expanded on that since that time, right? Am I wrong in seeing that?
No, no, you're right. But it's funny how now I see the dots where we started from, back to my childhood experience with Chernobyl and aftermath of that is that I did only what I loved because I didn't have the energy. The same happened with the team because in Soviet in the after the collapse of Soviet Union, we had programmers and developers, but you could not just go online and find them. You would have to actually search for them. Then you would have to convince them to program something that is not popular. You have to find the ways to teach them how to do it and then inspire them. I had all the possible limitations. I had to find the team. I had to do the marketing. I had to build everything from the scratch and
And
just
a woman in a male dominated industry, right? Like, I mean, this is on top of it all in Russia, which hadn't at that time and maybe isn't even now friendly to female entrepreneurs. You were doing a whole bunch of things that were different than everybody else, right?
more than that. 20 something years ago, I went to Köln game development conference, which is actually happening right now, just 20 years later. And believe it or not, there were 300 participants. I was the only woman besides one admin and one journalist.
Amazing. Amazing. I want to go back to this thing that you said. I did only what I loved because I didn't have the energy.
Mhm.
Um, so your limitation of
Mhm.
energy became an opportunity because you focused on things that you loved. So that's the second of your guiding stars. Mindset and
Mhm.
love was the second guiding star. And
Mhm.
you had this unique situation that forced you to work on what you love. Okay, now you have more energy, right?
Mhm. I do.
How do you stay there? How do you stay in what you love? Is that something intentional? Do you focus on that every day? is there something that you do? Is there a tool for that as well?
Uh, you know what's funny? I had been deviating a few times, and each time I failed. A friend of mine would say, "Hey, I'm doing this business. You're great. I want to work with you. Let's do this." And without considering that whether I love it or not, I would say like, I have two businesses right now. The third one is can be fun. Let's do it. And it failed. And it failed precisely because once I regained my energy, I learned how to manage it, I aligned myself, I started to, instead of only do the things that I love, I started to do things because people asked me to, or invited me, or I wanted to have one more business, or I wanted to try in this industry, myself in this industry or that. And I realized that this law that was naturally given to me through my experience actually has to stay the same throughout my life, because we have limited resources, and time is a limited resource. Our energy is a limited resource. When people right now complain that they don't have energy, all I want to say in return is this: it's not your enemy.
Mm.
It brings you back to the purpose that gives you energy instead of taking it.
I think it's so powerful, and I really I wrote down something you said. You were doing things because they were fun. You know, you said yes to things that were fun, but they weren't necessarily what you loved.
Mhm.
And there's a difference between doing, you know, a fun thing and things that you love, right? And I think we need to learn that difference, don't we? Like that we have to.
Oh my God, we do. I'm still learning. It's I might sound that it's all figured out. It's all figured out in terms of now I know that it's only what I love. But what is it that we love? When
Hmm,
we ask ourselves, what is it that you love? That makes us go inwards
yeah.
and go deep inside. And it's so scary because we might realize that the hobby that we have right now is actually because your parents wanted you to do that. And you still keep on doing it because it's a habit. The business you have, it's not really your love. It's something useful and something that can make you money and sustain your comfortable living. But maybe deep down inside, if you dig and if you allow yourself to look inside deeper, you find out that you've always wanted this one thing, and you've always had this passion for doing it, but you've never had the courage to actually go and execute on it.
Does doing the thing that you love always take courage? Like, is that maybe the difference? Is it like fun is easy because it's just fun, but doing the thing you love, does it, like saying I love you, like does love require courage? I'm just thinking about it from what you said. What do you think about that?
It requires courage,
Yeah.
it requires authenticity, and it requires brutal honesty with oneself.
With yourself.
Mhm.
Wow. Okay. All right. And then the third of the guiding stars, vision. Is
Mhm.
that an outcome of mindset and love, or is it a combination of mindset and love? How is that a guiding star? Like, where does the vision come from for you, and how how do you use, like do you use mindset and love to assess the vision for its authenticity? Tell me about that for you.
I use love to allow myself to make mistakes. Because when we have a closed mindset, and this is right and this is wrong, this is what I was taught, this is how I should act, we're not allowing ourselves to look outside of the premises that we were brought up in. And by allowing ourselves to navigate from our true path, we might learn on a conscious level what our true path is. And in that terms, in order to expand our mindset and from a closed mindset, turn it to the open mindset, turn it into exponential mindset, and turn it into quantum mindset, each step requires love, because in the process, we're going to make a lot of mistakes. And if we're going to blame ourselves for those mistakes, if we're going to punish ourselves, and instead of loving that we're trying, that we're doing, that we're expanding, we will fail. We will stop. The people with closed mindset, they're not dumb people. They're people who didn't have enough love for themselves and for others to allow mistakes.
Say that again. That is huge. People say that part. People with a closed mindset.
People who have closed mindset are not the dumb people. They're the people who didn't have enough love for themselves and others to allow mistakes that happen during growth.
That's so powerful. People with a closed mindset didn't have enough love for themselves and for others. Well, I can tell you without a doubt that I loved our conversation today. This was beautiful and brilliant. Natalia, thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me, and it's been a real pleasure, and it's really an unexpected pleasure because our conversation turned out to be something different than I thought it would be. And that means it was honest, it was authentic, and it was in the moment and for the moment.
I'm
Thank
very
you.
grateful. Thank you.